I welcome you all to our English session of today. I'm on cloud nine to meet you all in this English session. Right, children? You are all doing fine, I hope, and preparing your lessons with enthusiasm and energy. In the previous class, just I gave you an introduction of Ulysses, saying that it is a dramatic monologue and which he expresses his thirst for adventure in spite of being a king. And now let us see what is being said in the poem. It is a source of inspiration for people who wish to do adventures in their life, right? As I said, Ulysses is the king of Ithaca. He expresses his underlying thirst for adventure in this poem. He wrote this poem in memory of his friend, Arthur Henry Hallam, who died at a young age. And this Arthur Henry Hallam and even Ulysses has no death at all. He wrote this in memory of his friend, Arthur Henry. So both these people, he and his friend, has no death at all, because this death is immortalized here by Alfred Lord Tennyson in his poem Ulysses. So as I said, Ulysses addresses the mariners in his third part. He does not see any worth in staying in the comfort of family life with his wife. He doesn't feel pleasure in staying with his wife and son. As a king, he thinks that what is the duty of a king? Listens to the complaints of the people's subjects and giving some judgment. Sometimes it will be a reward, sometimes it will be a punishment. So, listening to the complaints of the people and giving rewards or punishments to them, to the citizens of the country, he felt really very bored. He discloses his inner nature, saying that I cannot rest from travel. So his quest for travel. I cannot rest from travel, he says. He has become a living icon of travel overseas. He wants to bring life to the least. He wants to enjoy the maximum. He confesses that he has both enjoyed and suffered a lot during his travels. He himself submits that he has suffered a lot during his voyage, during his travel. He has gained profound wisdom during his travels and battles. So during the travels and during this wartime, he experiences a lot and got more and more experiences and knowledge also. He, enriched by his new gained cultural knowledge, he longs to resume his voyages. He believes that to rest is rust. He says, taking rest is rusting like. See the weapons, knife, all these things. If you keep it without using, it will get rust. Of no use at all after that. Just like that, taking rest is getting rust. Every hour has a potential to bring new knowledge. So it is meaningless to stay. So as I said, we have to go on learning till the last moment, because life teaches so many things each and every minute. That is his view. So in the first part, he says like that. In the second one, he addresses the reader, explaining why he doesn't want to stay as a ruler. He wished to hand over his kingdom to his son Telemachus. He believes he would rule the kingdom and render appropriate justice to his subjects, Telemachus. Unlike Ulysses, Telemachus is rooted in the soil. He is always staying in this kingdom, and he is kind to the subjects. all the people liked him very much. And he just found out their needs and when they are in trouble. Besides, Ulysses hopes that Penelope, his aged wife, will be safe and secure in the hands of his son and his grandchildren. So he resumed his voyage along with his friends, right? So he thought that his wife and his grandchildren will be safe and secure in the hands of, under the custody of his dear son Telemachus. In the third part, he called his companions to the port where the ship awaits them all. So he invites everyone to come quickly to the port, seashore. His old companions have fought many battles alongside him and shared the underlying cause for adventure. His friends also had got plenty of experiences along with him. He persuades his friend to join him on his voyage to the edge of the world and beyond to find a new world. He knows the limitation of his companions. He knows them very well. They are old, tired. They may feel tired very soon, and they are weak due to old age. Their physical powers may not be the same when they were young and energetic. And but he is confident that they have undying spirit. Their spirit is young and undaunted. So if when they have that spirit, they can, though the body is weak, they can move with a unquenchable thirst for getting more and more knowledge. So his call to his fellow mariners would inspire invariably all those who seek knowledge and strive to lead meaningful lives in this world. Though it is an adventure in the sea, this just kindled the spirit of people who inspire to seek knowledge and get and mean to live a meaningful life in this world. Right? Now let us read the poem and let me explain it line by line. See that introduction in page number 127 of your reader. Take, children, your reader 127. What are the first three poems that we have completed? Can you tell with the title and the name of the author? First one is The Castle by Edwin Muir. Our Casuarina Tree by Torudet. All the World's a Stage by William Shakespeare. Ulysses by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Read the spellings and title of the poem and name of the author without any mistake, right? Right. As I said, he wrote this in memory of his friend, dearmost friend, author Henry Hallam, who died at his young age. The poem Ulysses is a dramatic monologue that contains 70 lines of blank verse. I told you what is blank verse, what is monologue, dramatic monologue. Ulysses, the king of Ithaca, gathers his men together to prepare for a journey and exhorts them not to waste their time left on earth. He compels them not to waste the time which is given to them by God in this world. Ulysses has grown old, having experienced many adventures at the Battle of Troy and in the seas. After returning to Ithaca, he desires to embark upon his next voyage. His spirit is always looking forward to more and more of such adventures. This poem can be divided into three parts. The thirst for adventure, which does not allow Ulysses to remain in his kingdom as a mere ruler. The second part, Ulysses handing over the responsibility to his son Telemachus with a total confidence in his abilities. And the third part, his clarion call to his sailors urging them to venture into the unknown lands. Read the poem Ulysses by Alfred Lord Tennyson, which speaks of the unquenchable thirst of the Greek hero Ulysses for travel and exploration of new vistas until death would overpower him. So, this poem shows his unquenchable thirst for his adventure. Now, let us read the poem, page number 127. A little profit, it little profits than an idle king. By this still heart, among these barren crags, mashed with an aged wife, I met and dole unequal loss into the savage race. It little profits. It is of no use. I don't have any interest that an idle king. I'm here just as a king of Ithaca. But actually speaking, in the right sense of the term, I could say that I'm an idle king. It has no use at all to me to be an idle king. By this still hearth, sitting by the side of the hearth, heat, fire, among these barren crags, mashed with an aged wife. So there is no meaning in living in the palace with my wife by the side of the fireplace. I met a dole. Dole, just allotting and distributing unequal loss to the savage race. He calls the subjects of his country as uncivilized people. There is no meaning in living a life as a king of this uncivilized people and allotting and giving punishments and giving some judgment to the complaints of the people. So I feel very bored to sit here in this kingdom, in this Ithaca, as a king of Ithaca, because there's no meaning in living with this old people, uncivilized people, my old wife giving some judgments for their nasty complaints. That hoard and sleep, that uncivilized people, the subjects of my country, they are hoard and sleep. They are very lazy people. Always they eat something, sleep. That is the only business of them. If possible, they fight with one another and come to me to trouble me also. And feed and know not me. They do not know my spirit of adventure. My purpose of life in this world, they do not know. So I don't like to live with these people and stay here in this palace. I cannot rest from travel. So from the bottom of his heart, he accepts that I cannot rest from travel. I wanted to move from one place to another. I will bring life to the least. I wanted to enjoy life to the maximum. All times I have enjoyed. All these days I have been enjoying my life by traveling and experiencing more and more things in my life, experiences in life. So now, the rest of my days also, I want to bring life to the least. I have enjoyed greatly, have suffered greatly, both with those that loved me and alone on shore, and when those crowding drifts and draining hates. So greatly I suffered in this world. Though I experienced many things, I suffered also a lot in this. Who has given suffering to me? Both with those that loved me, my lovable people, my relations, my friends. Maybe through them I have got some sufferings. And sometimes I was alone, I suffered alone. Sometimes on the shore I suffered, sometimes on the sea, when through scudding drifts the rainy haze. While I was moving in the sea, because of the wind, sometimes I suffered. The heavy wind rapidly made me to move from one place to another. And the rainy heights is a group of stars in the sky. That is rain, because of rain here. Vex the dim sea and become a name. for always roaming with a hungry heart. So, though I underwent all these sufferings in the sea due to wind, maybe by my friends, what because of from all these sources I have underwent suffering, but I have a hungry heart for traveling more and more and finding more and more places. Much have I seen and known, cities of men and manners, climates, councils, governments, myself not least, but honored of them all, and drank delight of battle with my peers. Much I have seen and known. I have traveled to many countries, so I have got many experiences. I have seen many people, many cities, many types of people, their way of living, their lifestyle, their dress, their manners, their culture, their language, their civilization, everything I know. Manners, the climatic condition of the countries which I traveled, councils, the rulers, the kings, the form of government they have in their country. All these things I am familiar with since I have traveled far and wide. Myself not least, but honored of them all, and drunk delight of battle with my peers companions. So, I have delight in doing some adventure. Far on the ringing plains of windy Troy, I am a part of all that I have met. Yet all experience is an arch weather too, gleams that untravelled world with whose margin fades. He just returned after the Trojan War, but he says that I enjoyed the war. See, Ulysses is a peculiar person, unlike we people. He enjoys war, it seems. Far on the ranging plains of windy Troy, I am a part of all that I have met. Yet all experience is an arc without though, gleams that untravelled world whose margin fades. Forever and forever, when I move, how dull it is to pass, to make an end. See, when I move further, I feel that it is a boring thing to stop my journey, to make an end to my travel, to rust unburnished. He says that taking rust is just like rusting, not to shine in use. So I cannot shine if I get rust. Like metals which becomes rusty if unused, life is meaningless without adventure. So he just gives a comparison here. Just like metals which becomes rusty and useless if unused and kept in one place, our life also is meaningless and it gets rusted without going for adventures, without traveling, without exploring something. Not to shine in use, as though to breathe were life, life piled on life. So he says that the meaning of life is sit in one place, eat something, breathe, and pass on the time. It is not like that, but meaning of life is just like an unrusted knife. We have to explore more and more things. But all too little, and of one to me, little remains, but every hour is saved. From that eternal silence, something more, a bringer of new things. And while it were every day is a new day, we have to find out new things. For some 3 suns to store and hoard myself, and this grey spirit is yearning in desire to follow knowledge like a sinking star beyond the utmost bounds of human thought. For some 3 suns, 3 long years, suns here he refers to as 3 long years, to store and hoard myself. So after the Trojan War, he is there for 3 years without going for adventure, taking care of the subjects. And this grey spirit yearning in desire, my spirit is yearning to get more and more knowledge. To follow knowledge like a singing star. I wanted to acquire, get more and more knowledge like a sinking star, beyond that most bound of human thought. So this is in the first part. This is the first part where he says that he wanted to get more and more knowledge and experiences, and he wished to go for adventure in his life. He doesn't like to stay as a king giving judgment to the subjects. Maybe fair judgments sometimes, unfair judgments, maybe punishments, maybe rewards, whatever it is. I don't like to stay at my palace giving, staying as an idle king. So these are the reasons he gives. Now the second part, he says, my son is there to take care of my subjects, country, and why he has confidence on his son, Telemachus. The reasons for his belief, confidence on his son, Telemachus, as a king. That is given in the next lines. This is my son, mine own, Telemachus, to whom I have the scepter and the eyes. Well out of me, discerning to fulfill this labor by slow prudence to make mild. This is my son, mine own Telemachus. So I'm going to hand over my charge as a king to my son Telemachus. This is my son, to whom I leave the scepter. I'm going to give the scepter, the rod, with it's a symbol of kings. The scepter and the isles, the island. He is very confident that his son will use his prudence, patience to govern the people very wisely. He is very confident of his son, to whom I leave the scepter and the island that I am ruling. Well out of me, I love my son very much, my beloved son, discerning to fulfill this labor. He is the only suitable person to fulfill this labor and go ahead with the king. He is a person who is fit for a king rather than myself. This labor by slow prudence to make mild. By his patience, prudence, even though the problems are a little severe, he will make it mild. A rugged people. So he is the only person who can rule this crooked people, the uncivilized people of my country, Ithaca. A rugged people, and those soft degrees subdue them to the useful and the good. Most blameless is he, centered in the spear. So if people ask about Telemachus to the subjects, to the citizens of the Ithaca, they used to say that he is blameless. He is a very good person. He has good conduct with the subjects of the country. He just inquires their needs and necessities, and he just fulfill their needs. And when problems arises, he knows to handle them very mildly and give proper judgments to their problems. To the rugged people, to the uncivilized, uncultured people of Ithaca. The rugged people and those of degrees subdue them to the useful and the good. Most blameless is he. Nobody will blame him. He has good name among his subjects. Centered in the sphere. Always he will be seen in the country only, taking care of the subjects. He has no interest to go far away from his kingdom. So, as and when people need his help, he will be available in that place. So, he is a more suitable person than me to rule the country. of common duties. Decent not to fail. He's a very decent fellow, very good person. He is very much conscious about his duties as a king. So he feels that his son will take care of his kingdom very well. In office of tenderness and pay, meet adoration to my household gods. He is a God-fearing man. When I am gone, he works his work, I mine. So when I am gone, I will go on with my work and he will take care of this country. He will be a duty conscious person who gives proper judgment to the subjects. There lies the port, the vessel of Circe. So I feel that I can move away from this place and paving way for my son to take care of my country and my wife and my grandchildren. And he says that there lies the port. The port is very near. The vessel puffs. The ships are ready to sail. So I have no other business here. I have to go to the port to sail in the sea. There gloom the dark, broad seas, my mariners, souls that have toiled and wrought and thought with me, that ever with a frolic welcome to the thunder and the sunshine and a post. There gloomed the dark, broad sea. We could see the sea. By the seaside, there is a ship waiting for us to move further. My mariners, fellow companions, my companions, souls that have toiled. So he just addresses them as toiled souls. They have suffered a lot in the previous expeditions and thought with me. They were staying with me. They are my best companions. That ever with their frolic welcome took the thunder and the sunshine and oppose. When thunder comes, when sunshine comes, when there is heavy storm, all these times, these my friends are always with me. Free hearts, free foreheads, you and I are old. Old age hath yet his honor and this toil. Free hearts, now I am relieved of my burden of my kingdom as a king. I am relieved from my burden as a husband to my wife. I am relieved as a father from a father to my son. I got relieved as a grandfather from my children. Now I am a free person. And I am relieved from my subjects as a king. Now I have free mind, heart, free forehead. I need not think about anything else. How to take care of my subjects, how to solve the problems of my subjects, how to provide food for them, how to bring economic development to the country. I need not worry about anything hereafter. I am free. My forehead is very free, free of thought, worries. You and I are old. Now myself and my companions, they are very old. Old age hath yet his honor and his toil. So in this old age, we can just move and do some adventure. That will be better than sitting in this country. So during this old age even, we have to toil. We have to work. Death closes all. So everybody faces death in this world. Death is the one which equalizes all the human beings, which closes everyone. See, when we were born as a child, we were very happy. As we move one day by day, we are nearing the grave very closely. When one day passes, one step we have near the grave. The next day, when the call comes, We have to move this world. Death closes all, equalizes everyone. Whether you are an educated person, whether you are a rich person, whether you are a poor person, whether you are just sleeping in a very big palace or on the roadside, death is common to everyone. But something before the end. Some work of noble note may yet be done. So, before we faces our death, something we have to do in this world. Something must be done in a noble manner. Not unbecoming men that stow with gods. The lights begin to twinkle from the rocks. The long day wanes. The slow moon climbs. The deep moans round with many voices. Come, my friends. So, only few days we may have in future, because we have becoming old, and we have to reach heaven. Before that, let us do something. Come, friends. He calls his friends. It's not too late to seek a newer world. Push off and sitting well in order, smite the sounding furrows. For my purpose holds to sail beyond the sunset and the baths. It is not too late to seek a newer world. So it is not too late. We will just move, push off, and sitting well in order, smite the sounding furrows. For my purpose holds. Come fast, and we will just move on with our purpose to sail beyond the sunset. So, our purpose is to travel beyond the sunset and the baths. Baths, the ocean or river, which the Greek people believe that it is surrounding the earth, the flat earth. In olden days, people believe that the earth is flat and it is surrounded by baths, outer ocean or a river, water surrounding the flat earth. He says that we travel beyond the sunset and go beyond the rivers and seas of all the western stars until I die. So, how long I am going to travel? Till my last breath. Till my last breath, I should not get down from the spirit of adventure. It may be that the gulfs will wash us down. Sometimes we have to undergo some suffering, tortures, torments because of the wind. Sometimes we may be engulfed in a gulf with washers down. The gulf may wash us down. It may be we shall touch the happy isles. Sometimes we will be just thrown to the island of the great Atlantic or Pacific Oceans. We do not know what we are going to face in future, whatever it is. It may be we shall touch the happy islands of the Atlantic Ocean and see the great Ulysses whom we knew, the great warriors. We will meet the great warriors there. We will see the great warriors of Greece there. Though much is taken, much abides, and though we are not now that strength which in old days moved earth and heaven, that which we are, we are. In olden days, we are young and energetic. Whatever we think, we feel that we can do it because the blood is young, spirit is there. But much of it is gone. Since we have become old, since we have become an experienced persons, most of our strength is gone. We are not now that strength. We don't have the strength now as we have when we were in the teenage or maybe below 35 years old, which in olden days moved earth. If you want to move, we have that much strength even to move the earth and heaven. That which we are one equal number of heroic hearts, made weak by the time and fate, but strong in will. Made weak by time and fate. Once we have that much strength to move heaven and earth, the physical strength we have. But now, because of time and fate, we have lost our strength. Now we are in the old age. But we have strong willpower. Though physically we are weak, we are very strong in our spirit. Why do we need that spirit? Will, strength in spirit? To strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. This is the famous line of Alfred Lord Tennyson, about which critics have written books after books. Books after books. If you go to a very good library, you can see the explanation of this line: to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. So, books after books written after this explanation for this. Tennyson must have this in mind when he writes this line. And it is a very great, very famous, very good, meaningful line. To strive, struggle. Why to struggle? To seek, to find out more and more things in our life, to get more and more experiences in life. Right? A very famous line. I will explain it in the next class, and we will wind up this poem in the next class. Till then, you read it once more, and if you have any doubt, just clarify it, children. We will meet in the next class. Thank you.